Want to make aggressive music like this? Check NeuroBlade, Letsynthesize's Serum 2 preset pack. Link below.
First of all, what is a transient shaper? A transient shaper basically boosts the transient of a sound. So this is a kick drum and this is the transient of that. A transient shaper takes this part of the sound. You can set the length of the transient anytime in the transient shaper and basically just adds volume. In some cases it can be cool, but let me show you the problem with it. So obviously this part, as you can see here, is heavily clipping. This is why we tend to drop a saturator after transient shaping in soft clip or hard clip mode, because it basically shaves off the unnecessary peaks that the transient shaper created. So with this we are getting some very nice higher overtones on the transient, but also we don't get the huge peaks that would cause some problem in mixing. So I created this magic red that basically does the same. It creates the higher overtones only on the transient without boosting the level, without saturating and all the crazy stuff. So this is a drum loop without the magic rack, and this is with it. So I created an audio rack and created two chains, one for the magic and one for the controllers. So the first step is to somehow separate the transient of this bass drum. The easiest way to do that is to use a gate effect. So what I need is basically just the very first few milliseconds. Pull back the attack. Okay, this is cool, but we still have a lot more from the body of the kick. So open this triangle and use a sidechain filter, where we can basically just use a high pass filter to separate only the click. Now we need an envelope follower, drop it right after the gate. So as I said, we don't want to add gain to the transient, we need to do something else. So we just set up the controllers, we can mute it, and we are going to use only the magic chain, where we should use a plugin that makes the transient a little cleaner and louder. So the Minimal Audio guys just released their Foreman plugin, and if I drop it on the main chain, you can hear that it basically brightens up the sound as I crank up the shift here. Obviously we just want to process the transient, not the whole body. Click on the map, go back to the magic chain, open the plugin container and click on the mix. Now pull back the dry wet. And also click on this button to make it unidirectional and not bidirectional. Very cool, so with this we were able to create a nice sharp transient without boosting the level and distorting and saturating and stuff like this. Because even though it does not boost the level of the transient, it still creates something different, so it is better to be safe. To celebrate this rack, I created a small little pack with 10 very cool drum-based drum loops that you can download from my Patreon below. They sound like this. Now speaking of Patreon, and if you are still here, let me tell you that I'm going to start a new series for beginners on my Patreon. And if you are still here, let me tell you that I'm going to drop a new drum bass masterclass on my academy, Letsynthesize Academy. It is going to blow your mind.